Hello, folks. Welcome along for the last time this year on the Carlow Club football front to the Left Wing Back Show. We've had a manic day, I have to say. We're getting clips together. We're getting teams of the year together, player of the year together. Just one of those mad things. And even up to a couple of moments ago, we were still finalising the team of the year, would you believe? So it's presented many a headache. But the jury has reached a verdict. And we did put it out there on Twitter earlier in terms of what your team of the year was. And a couple of people did get in touch with us on Twitter, on WhatsApp, and different places. And as we give ours, don't be afraid to give yours. You can do that on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube if you're watching on that as well. Just comment underneath and we can bring it up on the screen. All going well. And the episode tonight is in association with Autoimage Carlow for all your motor needs, and check out their Facebook and Instagram pages. So, yeah, we're going to start with the big news, I suppose, and that's Rathvilly are the Carlow Senior Football Champions for 2021. 212 to 110 winners over Eire Og. So a good bit to go through with that. We're going to bring in Stevie Bambrick first, who was on commentary duty for Carlow GATV yesterday. How are you doing, Steve?
Hi, Kevin.
You're a little bit like Anna Geary now at the moment. Everywhere you look on the television, you're around. You're getting all these gigs.
You got our number.
I've
been looking for her for a while now. Oh, she's well versed. She knows that.
Oh, she knows the crack. Christy Bolger, how are you?
All good.
And Tommy Wogan, how are you keeping?
All right, Kev.
The two lads on the bottom of the screen, is there delicate souls today? Are you a little bit upset? How's things?
I'm getting a bit of feedback there, Kevin. I can't hear you there.
Okay, not quite sure. We'll try to see what that is for a minute. We can see you on the screen and we can hear you on the screen. I don't know if you're choosing to hear that feedback or not, or whether you actually can hear me. I don't know with you, Wogan. But yeah, I think you can hear a little bit. Alright, he's chuckling there. But look, lads, we all got it wrong. Being honest about it.
Yeah.
You know, we make no qualms about it. Tommy is gone this night. You might jump on the sec, but we did, and I think not many people, in fairness, were given Rathvilly a chance. There's a lot of Rathvilly people I know that didn't think they're going to win. And did they go and win? And were so deserving as winners. Mightily impressive. Christy, what did you think?
Yeah, hugely impressed. It was a cracking, entertaining game. And they did deserve to win. They were full value for their money. I thought they had some outstanding performances, and just a few little things that stood out for me. Every time there was a kick out that they interchanged their forwards, kept Eire Og's backline busy. I thought their half backline was immense. I just thought it was such a launch pad to go forward, and it was something that was lacking in Eire Og, that transition from the backs to the forwards. But yeah, highly entertaining, really good game, and some really fine displays on display.
Mm-hmm. Steve, you call that one for Carlow GATV, as we were saying, and what did you make of it?
Well, going into it, you're looking at 91, I think, was the last time could have been Rathvilly turned over Eire Og in the final. I'm not sure now, but I said to a couple of people, neutral point of view, we need an early goal for Rathvilly. And like 2 minutes in, Brian Murphy had that box ticked, and you were going to be in the game for a while anyway. And like in first Eire Og, they went 1-2 to a point down, then they went 1-4 to 1-2 up. So you're kind of thinking then the water break comes, are they going to normal service resumed? But going through the quarters, Rathvilly, were consistent score-wise in each quarter. Eire Og's kind of went off after half-time. They scored 4 points the second half. But, the battle with Dara Curran over Colin Hulton in the far side there in the first half, there was 2 or 3 incidents with the two. They were given as good as one other got, but Colin Hulton wasn't getting shots off. And the last day he had 2 points in a minute. Got 2 points in a minute after half-time. He's a confidence player. Like any forward, Chris Blakely, Chris kicked 2 wides, but kept shooting. When we said in commentary, he won't stay missed. Next minute, the goal scored. And it was the best county final I've been in, at football-wise. Without a shadow of a doubt, I think anyway that the excitement levels, and we were in the stand and the Rathvilly crowd were beside us. Like, it was the last 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, were just mad. Like, it was like you're in a hay shed and someone was baiting with a stick. Like, it was just they were getting momentum too. They were going up. Eire Og came on at half time or after half time there, and we seen him coming on last week, so it wasn't going to be. He wasn't just going to be sprung. We knew yesterday, in fairness, was a good chance, and his athleticism alone, coolness on the ball after the one he kicked wide, he kicked a Hail Mary shot, probably not right to shoot, but once he just carried the ball, he was making it a goal there along Brendan Murphy, and the ball brought back to finished off by Eric himself, soccer player. Damien Duff is his boss in Shelbourne, left foot, he couldn't write it, back 3 weeks training. But from a county point of view, you're looking at lads that haven't been on the county team. Will they, the likes of the Darragh Curran cornerback, brilliant there, 17 years of age. He's a bit young for he's a first year senior first, how about county, but as a game itself, okay, the Eire Og, I thought was a loss, not starting. Obviously he came in, so whoever knock he had, he was able to play. But as a match, as a game that you're invested in from minute 1 to 65, that was brilliant, I thought. Just both teams, in fairness, played in a good spirit. There was a couple of yellow cards. I think Eire Og maybe got 3 or 4. Rathvilly got a straight red near the end, all right. But there was played in a good spirit. I see Brendan Murphy lifting Gannon off the ground there one stage after giving away a free. That's what it's all about. They left it in the field, and Carlow football was the winner yesterday, I thought. No.
Yeah, best final I think I saw for a long time as well in terms of overall quality. Just to mention as well, we do have a good bit of post-match to go through. We're going to hear from Tony Bolger, Brian Murphy, Robbie Malloy, Eric Malloy, and Pádraig Deering over the course of the show, and we'll be going through the Junior C final. We have some post-match from that. We have some clips from the Carlow Senior Ladies Football Final. We're talking about the Senior Relegation Final, and we also have the Minor Football Final as well. So plenty to get through over the next hour. We're just struggling to get Tom Wogan back in. I don't know, is he having a few technical difficulties? I can't see him on the green room side either, and we've sent him a WhatsApp, so hopefully we can get him back in here. Maybe he's going to hang us out to dry with this team of the year. I don't know.
That team of the year, he's not too happy with it.
Yeah, we might just tell everyone that he picked it. He just go to town just to not have to face the music or whatever.
He could be on the way up to collection there now. With here knocking the door, you'll know.
Yeah, maybe
either he is.
Hopefully he's okay anyway. But yeah. So look, as we said, we clips from the game. We have post match. I just think in general, when you're looking at this contest, it does seem that, and just slight contradiction here, Eire Og had goal chances in the second half that they did not take, right? But then if you look at the goal that Eire Og did get, which was shown a few moments' time, it did come from a Rathvilly error. So, I think for once you can kind of say, in my opinion anyway, I think 5 points was a fair winning margin in the end. Christy, would you agree?
Yeah, I had in my head the first team to get to 115 was going to win. I think value for money. I think they deserved 5 points in the end. Yeah, it comes down to big moments, and in the last 10 minutes, they just had all momentum going with them, and they used it, and they're just excellent in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, they were, in fairness. I'll flick through some of those moments from that game. We'll get all the goals actually in the senior game. We'll just bring it up on the screen. So you're going to be here on the left-hand side as well. So maybe we'll talk through this one. Steve, you were on commentary, so I'll get Chris to talk through. So obviously we've Ed Finnegan here, Chris, yeah, and you might talk us through the rest of it.
It's just froze there now.
Yeah, it's playing fine on my screen anyway, but that was obviously Brian Murphy's goal, which came in the early stages.
For me, it's mad to think that say so many forwards and so many fullbacks got on the ball. They all played decent on both sides. It was nearly, I thought it was kind of the half backs between the two 45s that was the winning and losing of the game for me, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Ed kicked in a long ball. This is what I'm saying. After the kick out, they were changing over. So they were keeping all the Eire Og's backs really busy, that they had to keep an eye out and mark. There was no chance for a sweep or anything like that. And I think, from a Rathvilly point of view, that they were targeting that, and they wanted to get that ball in early and test the lads. Got in, and it was a great goal as well. Turners, man, we've been saying it all year, Brian is such a good footballer, clever footballer. knows the right position to be in, and then when he gets the ball, how to use it. And it was a humdinger of a start for them.
Was indeed, yeah. So let's move on to the second goal, which we kind of spoke about, and this is the error, I suppose. They try to take a quick free here. Brendan tries to go down the line with it. It's intercepted by Mark Fury, I think. And in fairness, Eire Og have a bit of a sniff as to what might be on the cards here. So Adam Murphy treads one through to Ross Dunphy. And again, Dunphy plays a first-time ball inside to Chris Blake. And he's only one thing in his head here. It goes past Paul Curran. In fairness, Robbie gets a little bit on this, I think. Does he? Is there a little nick on that there? I'll wind it back. I thought initially that he got a bit of a leg to it and that put it into the bottom right, but maybe I'm wrong. I'll just have another little look at it now. No, he just slotted it into the right. That's a good finish.
It's a great finish. And like really well taken, because like Chris again are a forward, like a confidence player. He missed one or two at the start and then kicked two beauties, and then the goal went in. Like it brought us right back into the game, and it was badly needed at the time. I thought it was a great finish as well. Real composure. Yeah,
and obviously this is the goal that wrapped it up. Now we will show a couple of Eire Og chances in a few moments, but you know, Eire Og, in fairness, like just to put it in context, we're just into injury time here, 2-point game. And Eire Og are probably going for broke a little bit, because Rathvilly turn it over on the halfway line. And again, they sniff a goal scoring opportunity. This is Eric Malloy thundering through. Brendan keeps going to his left, and he'll receive the pass in a moment. I think this is Brian actually inside. And it's saved. And like as Stevie said already, like, who do you want in that position? A soccer player is always useful. And he just slotted home. Like,
you know, it was icing on the cake, really, for them, wasn't it?
Well, sure it was, yeah. Like, but the mad thing was just before that, and we'll bring up this here now. I think we have those clips somewhere. We can just grab them. I actually don't have them in the hand, but the save from Murta Ware's effort, Robbie Malloy made, that was a big moment. Big moment at the time.
It was huge, because I actually thought we were trying to force the goal once or twice, like where we could have got shots off and just got the scoreboard, kept it ticking over. But Murta's chance, and then I suppose the chance with two lads inside him as well, like it just seemed to open up completely. It was a great save, and again, that's just a momentum booster. Like, if you want to know that it could be your day, it's when things like that happen, just fills you with confidence that today is going to be your day. I think Gallen for the two of them was hand passing off. Maybe I'm wrong for Murta's one, but I thought he slipped one or two great hand passes in to take out a few defenders.
Well, this is actually, I think that pass you're talking about for Murta's chances in this video as well. So we'll give this a little.
Yeah, Gannon wasn't involved in that one. He was over this side. The first ball from Morrissey's was definitely his. He took out 2 or 3 lads.
Yeah, I'm just going to pause there for a sec, right? Because Rathvilly are obviously back in numbers, and Jordan takes that bit of a run through. Gannon spots it, and we spoke about this actually a few weeks ago with. I'm going to bring Tommy back in here in a sec, actually, as well. Tommy, can you hear us there now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Jeez, good to have you back. I thought you were after getting insulted with me over the Eire Og comment at the start.
No.
It's like he's not coming back. And then there was rumours that you wanted to go missing because of this team of the year. But thankfully we have you back. Good to have you, Tom. So obviously we're just flicking through the goal scoring opportunities. We've had the goals, and then this is the Eire Og chance or two that they had. And we're talking about what Gannon's about to do. And what I was saying there before I was bringing you back in was, remember a few weeks ago we were talking about Danny Moran against Wexford in 2017. I think Gannon actually passed off that ball to him as well for that goal. And this is a similar enough kind of pass, look, because all the bodies are back there for Rathvilly, and it's a great run by Jordan as well. Robbie Malloy is so alert, and this is a fair collision, lads. And if you look at it again in real time, people were saying, "Oh, penalty." But two things: Robbie actually stands his ground, and if you look at Jordan's legs actually leave the ground as well. So,
and then ended up getting a free in the same. Brendan Murphy went to raise the ball, and he stuck his head into Sean Gannon, and it looked accidental. It was a free. Look, it looked, right? Okay, could be a free out from could be the penalty if the umpire or the ref had called it wrong. Which looking in real time, you could think possibly, but then it should have been a free out. It still ended up being a point. It could have been. Yeah. It was at the stage where scores were at premium, and every score was going to count.
So we can't actually see by the next clip who sends the ball into Eire because it just shows him on the ball. We'll see now. Here we go.
Kelvin Chatton, was it, or Benny? I think.
I'm not quite sure. Well, Gannon's not in the vicinity, so maybe he's out of shot.
Gannon's
I don't know.
here, to the left here. Gannon here's the ball.
Yeah, Gannon's here.
It's not Gannon anyway.
So it wasn't him. So, like, Tom, I'll get you to talk us through this as it's happening. We'll wind it on again. We'll just bring her back here now. It might take a second just to roll on to the next one. But talk us through it, Tom.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't fault Murtagh for going for the shot there. Like he was after making great ground, and look, some people said probably should have fed it off inside. But if you look at it, if you look inside, Rathvilly guy had already covered him. So the only thing I would say, if Murtagh had kept it low, get it down low on the ground, like, you know. But
is it Chris Blake here? Like, Chris Blake, I don't think was too happy with not getting the pass, but I don't know. Does he realise there's someone fairly close to him? But
there is somebody, yeah.
But a little pop pass there, you could be looking at a palm goal, maybe, could you?
Yeah, well, you could have, but then the other side of it is, like, you know, Chris was already had a guy on his back, like, so, I mean, and Murtagh.
But then if Murtagh doesn't show Robbie is standing up and the ball score between Robbie and Chris, if you look at it that way.
Yeah. Still a good save, lads.
Great save. Yeah.
And there's one we don't have a clip of. I thought the one in stoppage time, even though it was a scuttery enough effort, was a savage save because there was enough on it to get past him and he still got down low.
And there's bodies in front of him as well. Like, it's great save.
I think it was the owner who got the shot away. I thought it might have been owner who got a prod on it at the time. Could be wrong with that. But yeah, that was another very good save. Like, it was so important. So do you know what? We're on the topic of Robbie Malloy, we might as well hear from him now. Robbie Malloy, Rathvilly Senior Football Champions. Congratulations. Unbelievable stuff. 5-point win in the end. You had a couple of saves to make and you made them.
Yeah, a couple of saves to make, for sure. Have to be made at the time, and that's it, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And in fairness, crucial moments as well, because you were a couple of points up, I think, when Eire was bearing down on goal, and you got a hand to that. And equally then, in stoppage time, I think it was en route trying to prod one over the line, and you got across to it. And look, there was a lot happening in that game. There was a lot going on there, and I'd say it was fairly nervy coming towards the end of it as well.
I don't know, 5 points in there. No, I suppose we were a backstand against the wall trying to prevent them going for goals and stuff like that. But I suppose last 15 minutes when we kind of kicked on a little bit, I was confident enough that we were going to get over the line. We've enough done throughout the year.
And I felt you made big improvements throughout the season. You're always learning, in particular even in comparison to last week. You got quite a lot right in the space of a week, like.
Yeah, character to the boys. In fairness, management team come up with something Tuesday night, and we stuck to the plan today, and thankfully got over the line.
Look, you've had heartache in finals previously. It's been a while since you won one or whatever, like, so it's a sweet one, to be honest with you, because look, nobody gave us a chance, so it does make it sweeter, including ourselves.
I got back onto Tommy Wogan here now. He's probably no. I suppose no one gave us a chance. I suppose we looked at everything. The bookies have us at 1 to 10 on, or Eire Og 1 to 10 on, and we were 5 to 1. So we bottled that up and helped us go over the line as well. Everything helps that way.
Well, listen, come here. Well done. Delighted for you, honestly, and the best luck next weekend. All right.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you.
Thanks, Robbie. Tom, you got a mention?
Huh?
You got a mention?
If I did, I didn't hear it anyway.
No, he was obviously paying attention to what you were saying on the podcast there. He said, I can go back on to Tommy Wogan now. Yeah, in fairness to him, you know, he was absolutely brilliant. Kickouts are very good too, of course. But, I mean, he's not the only hero there by any stretch of the imagination. We have a few more of these to go through, so we might as well go through them. So, first of all, a 42-year-old warrior in Tony Bolger. Tony Bolger, congratulations, Rathvilly County Champions. Not too many people were saying that at the start of the year. Not too many people were saying that last week. But you won't mind that now, of course.
No, it's a very sweet victory, especially with Eire Og. When we lost to them in 2017, they went on a roll and they were looking for 5. So, look, they're a great team, but we have a great team and we have a great tradition. So it's nice to get over the line. We're thereabouts, and hopefully we can push on now.
I felt even from the game last week, you made savage improvements, and I think you knew those yourself in terms of trying to shore things up, which you did, and you picked off some great scores. You were brilliant today.
Yeah, I like to think that we're trying to play an open game. There's so much football now is all defensive, but Rathvilly are trying to play an open game, and we rely on, you know, youth and experience, I suppose, a blend of it, and trying to get the scores at the right time, like Brian Murphy, Brendan Murphy, Ed Finning, and we've a lot of, you know, wise men, and then a special mention for Robbie Malay, who's exceptional today, stopping a couple of really good chances for Eire Og.
The ripe old age of 41, you're still thundering on. 42 now, Jenny, Mac. I don't know how you're doing it at all. John McGrath, the junior game, 45 as well. They say life begins at 40, and it's not going too bad for you now today anyway.
Yeah, no, look, it's very nice, 42 in August, and I suppose lifestyle has to change, and it's changed the last few years. Look, going well. It's nice to get him, nice to be involved there. Hard to come into a fast game, but yeah, just still nice to be involved as well, you know.
Well, listen, enjoy the celebrations, Tony, and the best luck in Leinster, alright?
Thanks very much.
And then you look at the far end of the spectrum, young Pádraig Deering. Pádraig, congratulations, unbelievable stuff. You've been brilliant this year, and we're honestly delighted for you because nobody gave us a chance, us on the podcast included. And well done, you've gone and stopped a drive for 5, and you've been one in a row yourself now.
Look, a lot of work went through it. We knew coming into it like it was going to be dogfight. We had that hurt from earlier on in the year from last year's championship. We knew we just had to build, and it all clicked today, thank God, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were brilliant in both sides of the field. You short things up at the back and picked off some great scores.
Look, sure, when you have shooters like Brian Murphy, Jake Elliott, Brian Smith in there, you have your long rangers, we have Alan Kelly. You could stay going, Brendan Murphy, Ed pinging ball in, like it just doesn't stop. Like we have, the talent is there, it's just all had to click there today, and thankfully it did.
Well, listen, enjoy the celebrations and well done, alright? Alright, next up, Eire Og, the goal scorer. Eire Og, congratulations, Rathvilly County champions. If you wanted someone in the position to tap a ball home off the turf, a soccer player would come in handy, of course, but yeah, look, you took the chance and that put the icing on the cake and wrapped it up, so congratulations, and it's been quite a story for you. Like, you're probably only back a few weeks, are you?
Oh, stop, yeah, I'm only back there 2 or 3 weeks, yeah. Finished off the season with Shells on a high, winning the league there, and sure, I wanted to keep up my fitness. Damien Duff taking charge, and I wanted to be in flying form, so I came down and trained with the lads. They were looking for, or they said, like, come on in, they'd be happy to come in. So I said, yeah, I'll do my best, come in, keep my fitness up and try help the team, you know. And I tell you, it fell to me, but it still had to be put away, and I don't think it was done and buried then. Like, Eire Og came back with 2 great chances there, and Robbie in the goal, some outstanding saves to keep us in our head going into the last 2 minutes there. If that went in, it would have been so nervy. So a very good game, nothing in it, and yeah, delighted to get over the line.
You may send up for a clip of that goal now. He might go in your favour.
Yeah, jeez, you never know. Sure, it's great. It's just to win a title. It takes a lot, and it's not just the players out there. It's the backroom staff. It's the families. It's the whole parish that came together here to make this happen. It's not just the players. The players are outstanding, but there's a lot of players, a lot of people out around the scenes. Like, the management were excellent all year. Like, from what I've heard and what I've seen, they've been super. And then the families and all the sacrifice they've done, it's been super. It's absolutely amazing here, and then to win it, it's just brilliant.
It is indeed. Well, listen, thanks for having a chat with us, Eric, and well done again. All right. I think the smile on his face kind of captures everything. You can see how happy the man is. Like, and if you look at it, in the last couple of years, he's been in New Zealand, he's been in Poland, he's been all over the world, but still nothing means as much as what he did and achieved yesterday along with his teammates. You can just see it in him, like, and for me, that's literally what makes county finals so special.
Sure, that was the difference, Kevin, wasn't it? I mean, yes, the Rathvilly subs had an effect. Eire Og's didn't.
Yeah,
you know?
he made a big difference, and Stevie mentioned it, I think, in terms of there was one ball he took the wrong option with and he got an earful, and after that, flawless. In fairness, like, and he's only back 3 weeks, like, and he's still
some going from the players and that to have the wherewithal to see, right, Eric Malay, are we going to let him into the panel here? 3 weeks, train.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it might be someone could have been brought on yesterday or the last day instead of him, and they didn't, and they weren't because he was brought on, and you know, that takes a bit of forward thinking on the whole. Probably the management as well. Probably seen an opportunity. Right, this lad, sure, he's flying after playing a full season of soccer. Confidence as well after winning the Division 1, their 2 title, and just he couldn't write it, you know. And then score with his left foot like Damien Duff, like it just, you know, maybe only 2 yards out, but jeez, it was, and the smile on his face, you said, like, just no matter where you go, like you're on, they're the lads, he went to school, probably, you know, there'd be some, his father, I think Pat Mallay's his father, Pat was in the, he possibly in the first team in it. Noel, sorry, it's Noel, yeah. Like, jeez, he was a Trojan warrior for Rathvilly and Carlow down the years, and, you know, he's went far and wide, but just come back there and score a goal in the county final 3 weeks ago. Like, you couldn't just ride her over stuff, you know.
Yeah.
He's a lovely chap. He's an absolute gentleman. He's a really nice lad, like, you know, and delighted for him, like, you know. But look at, you know, the Malays are steeped in Rathvilly, in the history of Rathvilly. The Malays are steeped in it, like, I mean, and I've no doubt, like, I mean, Eric would have played for Rathvilly, but for the fact that, you know, his soccer career took over. And you're right, Stevie, what you say, like, I mean, they brought him back into the fold with open arms, and he delivered, you know. So well done to him.
Can I ask you two down below, who are actually, you know, obviously, Christy, you're with a senior club team, and Tommy, you've been over the county team and stuff along with Carlow. If that happened in your case, would you have played him?
Yeah, once there's buy-in from the players, it has to be player-led. Like,
yeah,
if the players are accepting, there's no issue then.
But you give the players the opportunity to, like, you're putting the power to the players with that as well.
Oh,
even though you're in charge, yeah.
Because someone in that group is going to lose out. Bring them in. But like, if someone's willing to take the gamble and take a sacrifice, then you bring him in.
Yeah, but that's a hard call. As a selector or management, it's a hard call. But look,
it's right call.
It just shows where they are at though as a group. Like you listen to Pádraig Dern, he's on the youngest lad in the field. He sounds like the most maturest man on the field. Like he just said it. They were building. They learnt a lot. They have a lot of heart. Like, I thought his interview kind of encapsulated everything about what they're doing the last few weeks. And then for him as well, like, geez, lads, he just gets up and down the pitches. It's a joy.
He came back there in the first half, Chris. There, I don't think it was Jordan Morrissey who was going through, and it could have been Conor Reilly was tracking him. He was under a bit of pressure. Pádraig Dern copped it, didn't have to be shown from the line, came in, helped him, bang, attack broke up. Like, it was he 19 years of age, 20 years of age.
He's only 18, Steve. 18. He's in with the freshers here in the IT, like, so. Like,
first county final. Like,
he's going to be around for a long time.
He's improved this year in the couple of games I've seen, you know, no end. And I know, look, says you're looking at lads of one, you're probably you might be saying you're taking a bit more heed of them as well. But that to me, that thing that he was able to cop that himself 20 minutes in the first county final, the cauldron against Eire Og, going for 5 in a row, and come out with the ball. Like, he must have been 6'6" after the coming out with it, to have the thinking to do it and then to pull it off. Like, it might look a whole lot in the bigger scheme of things, but Jordan Morrissey going through, it's not an easy prospect to be.
But even like as you said, like, so mature to spot it and like to position himself there, like to be in the right place at the right time. And it wasn't the first time, it wasn't the last time in the game. I thought he was exceptional. And even, lads, in the last 15 minutes when Murta came on, he dragged Murta over under the stand 3 times to take him away from the kickouts. And cuteness, pure cuteness to do it, like. And they're like, people sometimes don't see that, but that's a big thing, to get a big man out of the middle to clear the way for someone like the Brendan Murphys or whoever to pick it up, Ed, out there. So I just thought he was immense, to be honest, and I think it just shows, like, young lads, if you give them a chance, lads, you'll reap the rewards. Everybody has to start somewhere.
Can I flip that point slightly, Christy, right? Because I'm sure when Murta Ware come on at half time, that might have been with the intention of, you know, the height that he has in his favour in comparison to Pádraig, who Rathvilly kept on him. But did Eire Og utilise that enough from kickouts? Like, I don't recall any high ball coming out on top of Murta. There was one ball played in front of him that bounced away from him. So, and
even bring them on, say, a wing half forward, he's not that type of player. He can't get up and down the field. Like either set him in the middle or put him in foot forward to be a threat. I just thought 10 or 12 wasn't the place for him to be.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting in particular that he wasn't hit with kickouts. I don't know what the reason was, but he's 6'8" 3 or 4, like, and Porrick Deeran's only 5, 10 or 11. And I don't remember one high one going out. I'm not blaming Robbie for that. Like, I'm sure there's a method to the madness. Like, but
the bomber was a bit injured, so I'd say
we heard that.
Getting length on his kicker wasn't something that was in the forefront of his mind to get them out long. Like,
yeah. Now that was we have to mention that because there was a bit of a goalkeeping crisis. Like, Simon Ray talked out a sub goalkeeper. Johnny Fury's hurt, Ricky Keaton's hurt, and Evan Kearns is unwell. So Simon deputised on county final day as sub keeper and might have been close enough to playing by the sounds of it.
I'd say he was actually, because I look back at it after, and in the warm up he was taking a heavy part in the warm up in the goal. Like, he was throwing himself around the place. If you look back at it, so, and Robbie had a heavy shot leg. You know, I'd say he was ready to go in. Like, there was no, when you see 31 on his back, it shows you a red version of it he has. But I'd say they were prepared any minute to throw him in, and he was ready to go.
So, like, we're going to go talk about Rathvilly a little bit more in a few moments' time. But from an Eire Og point of view, then where did they fall down? Why did they not hit the heights apart from Rathvilly being brilliant? Is there areas of their game that you felt that they just weren't up to scratch on, and where could they have improved, or where did it go wrong?
Well, I felt, you know, in the previous podcast in relation to Brian Murphy. I mean, that was a red flag all day. Like, I mean, that they needed to curb Brian, and I felt Benny was the man. They should have put Benny go man mark him, but they put Benny out on. Benny picked up
Jake Elliott.
Jake Elliott.
Actually, for a lot of it, lads, hold on now for a sec, because he was on Clonmore for a while.
Now, that's it.
Yeah, I just interrupt you for 1 sec now, because I think that's a waste of resources. Because Clonmore, with all due respect, is not a scoring forward, and Benny is the best man you can have nearly in the county to tie up a scoring forward. So I just want to throw that in, and then you can continue.
But that's why I was surprised at that. That, you know, but then I you know people laugh at me, but many a person came over to me during the games and asked me about Eire Og, and I always felt Eire Og were beatable. They were beatable. You know, there was a lot of talk about Eire Og, you know, going to cruise through the championship. I felt there were areas of their game that concerned me, and like the game against Rangers, Rangers got at that Eire Og backline, but for the fact that it felt through their goal chances, they should have taken them. And to me, that was an area that I said to you in the previous podcast that Joe Murphy would have to seriously look at. And if you look at the clips there again, like, you know, Ed Finnegan had a mountain of space to work in to get the ball to Brian Murphy. You know, Brian done exceptionally well. He won a great ball. He got turned and he went inside and put the ball away very, very well. And Eire Og didn't seem to learn from that. And that was always, for me, was a slight problem for Eire Og in that sense. I thought their substitutions didn't work for them. I thought bringing Niall Quinlan on, like, and Niall is a fine footballer, and I want to pick me up wrong on this now. But Niall's speciality is free taking. He's a free taker. He's a deadly free taker, deadly accurate off frees. They're overall already carrying Darragh O'Brien as the free taker, and Darragh didn't put a foot wrong on his frees all day. But I felt they needed to get a guy, the likes of St Mullins. I know Derek Hayden wasn't in the panel. They needed a player of that calibre in there to poach a goal, to get a goal. I thought that was an area that may have fallen down a little bit on, and their substitutions, maybe it could have been done a little bit quicker. Owen Root, I know he was carrying up. Could you have started him, got what you can out of him, and then take him off? You know, these are all, you can play around with that all day, but that's just what I felt like, going to the games, as I said to you before, you do your homework, and you study your team, and you look for areas that you can expose. And that was an area I felt Rathvilly exposed very, very well. On top of that, Brendan Murphy, Brendan kicked superb ball into Brian and sprayed it well. No pressure put on him. in the middle third. He was allowed to spray that ball in. So look, it's just one of them. A lot of the Eire Og chaps just had an off day. It was just one of them days. Things didn't go their way. But that was just my assessment of it. And I'm just being genuine. I'm not, here to criticise anybody. Eire Og had a phenomenal 4 years. 4 in a row is nothing to be laughed at. That's some achievement. But at the end of the day, county finals are there to be won. And as I said in the previous as well, county finals are a different animal. You can have all the favouritism in the world of God, but when it comes down to playing that game, it's anybody's game. It's 50-50. And I don't think, personally, terrible lot of talk about Leinster and all that stuff. Load of nonsense to me, that I think that may have crept in on players as well. They didn't need to be hearing that stuff going on. You win your county final first, and then you start thinking about Leinster club.
Have you want to add to that, Chris?
Yeah. The biggest thing for me yesterday was we were so slow at transitioning. I know that's a buzzword now in Gaelic football, but getting out of our back line and getting forward. And then when we did get forward, we were slow at coming back and plugging the hole in front of our full back line. That's where the gaps were.
Yeah.
Where you look at their half back line, 5, 6 and 7, Pádraig, Josh and Conor, the amount of ground them 3 lads covered, and covered sometimes without even getting a hand on the ball, but they're still making runs up and coming back and plugging the hole in front of their full back line. For me, you looked at Brian Smith, won some amount of ball. Fitzy got some amount of ball off him. That was a battle in itself. But I thought we looked flat in some instances where they really were buzzing and looked just like they had all the energy. I was saying, I kind of against Bagnestown that I'd worry about their legs or that. Jeez, they had an abundance of it. How wrong was I? And we were the ones that looked a little bit sluggish. I just thought we'd no outball either. We'd no outball to kick. If you're back, you're looking for someone up the field on a 45 or that to be making a run across the 45 line that we can kick long direct ball to. I don't think we had an outball all day. Rhys Deneve coming off, I thought everything he did was really positive, and he landed every kick pass that he kicked as well. That was a bit strange for me. But no, look, just some lads didn't have their greatest day. And then you look on the Rathvilly team, some lads had their best day. So that's what happens, that's football. You just have to take it on the chin and move on.
Yeah, it's the simple things, Kevin, in football. Kick pass there took out there in one clip there, took out 6 or 7 Eire Og players. And you look at the run that Brendan made in the second half. He left, Jordan was trailing behind him. I think Gannon and that were trailing behind him. I think it was the lead up to the goal. And he got inside me, ran hard at them, and he offloaded to Eire Og. It ended up in the back of the net, So look, it's just one of them things,
So, what did the improvements I felt, they were more compact in defence. You saw in the clip, when it was penetrated at that time, when Jordan got through, it did illustrate how compact they were in comparison to last week, in my opinion, where they were ran at straight down the middle and wide open in certain parts, right?
Yeah.
I think that was a big thing where I felt they changed and moving the ball a little bit quicker. But I'm going to change topic ever so slightly because Brian O'Donoghue has got in touch with me and he has some very interesting facts, right? So John Corcoran listed on the panel yesterday, who I think is 51. I'm just going to look back at the book here. 51 years of age, right? Won his 4th senior football medal. Won the first one in 1990 and won a Wicklow Senior Championship in between, right? Eric Malloy has never lost a county final. He's 2 from 2. So he didn't play in the finals in 16 and 2020 of those played this year, but he played in 2014 when they beat All Auckland.
Brian Fenton job.
When Tony Bolger won his first senior medal, Pádraig Bolger wasn't even born. Jake Elliott and Derek Hayden are first cousins. Barry John Malloy and Jeffrey Donoghue are related to Shane Buggy, second cousins. And Rathvilly are the only team in Carlow to have reached at least semi-final every year since 2006. That's a fair statistic.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like St Mullins in the hurling. I compare them to, obviously, right, say Rathvilly don't do hurling or might person play with other clubs. St Mullins don't do football until, well, yesterday they've started back, as I said, this year. They bring lads through their own minor teams, underage teams. To develop the players, the skill level, I thought yesterday from Rathvilly, it's a given with St Mullins with the hurling. But Rathvilly with the football, like Josh Moore's takedown of the ball beyond the 45 in the second half with 10 minutes to go, and the ball bombing down the line, puts his foot up and just, like, you know, I thought he was quite the first quarter over. He got into the game and got into it big time in the second half. You're talking Brendan Murphy, Tommy there with his foot pass takes out 6 or 7 lads. The ball he left in there in the second half, the Brian into his chest. Brian got 2 yards or 3 yards. He had a yard on Mark Fitz, and Brian knew where the ball was. He had 3 yards again. He got into his chest, so he didn't even bother taking the mark. He had enough room to kick it over with his right, which is not too bad either, you know. But that's why I'm looking at Pádraig Deering as well, coming out of the ball, flying out of the ball. Well, they had a solo left foot, right foot. Their minor B team won the minor yesterday. They got going the the last minute against St Martin's. They're always able to find 1 or 2 and they bring him on, and you're looking at, like, Chris, you were saying, Darragh Kern there. Like, the job he done on Colm Hulton yesterday, and Colm Hulton tried his living best, couldn't shake him off. Colm's first shot was about, I'd say, 45 minutes in, went about a foot wide. If that had been Colm last Sunday, it'd have been his 5th point of the game, probably, because he'd had 3 or 4 before that. But, like, Chris Blake was the only player kicked at the post in the first half for Eire Og. Scored 1-3, kicked 2 wide. Darragh kicked 2 or 3 frees he got, and Benny Kavanagh kicked the point. There's no other Eire Og forward got a kick at the post in the first half, mainly because say Reece and Eve, Adam Murphy, Darragh O'Brien were out the field. They were treading the balls into either Colm Hulton or Chris Blake. Chris was winning his battle well on Paul Kern. Colm wasn't. Whereas other end of the field, the 3 Rathvilly in full forward line, they had the beatings of their 3 men in the first half, and probably generally over the game, Brian Smith, Brian Murphy and Jake Elliott. And like, that's a little bit of a tips the scale a small bit. I'm always saying you need 7 or 8 scores in the county final. Yesterday, that script was just fecked out the window. 1 forward for play for Eire Og scored, and 2 for Rathvilly. Neither half forward line scored from play. Neither half forward line scored. Like statistics, like they were made a photo yesterday. We're going to look at that 212 to 110.
In between 245, Stephen, though, like there's some work going on and some battle. Like for me, that's where it was won. Yeah. All them big moments came in between the 245s, I thought. And like just yours, Pádraig Deering, and bringing through footballers. You look there, Pádraig White is a young chap. Pádraig Byrne, some great footballers. Conor O'Neill, we talked about him here before in the show. Pádraig Bolger, like they're young lads, well able to play football, high skill level as well. They'll be coming into the fold as well. I thought the way the forwards kept interchanging. Eire Og always had to think, who am I on? Am I out a half back or half full back now? Because they kept bringing them in and out all the time. And I thought that was brilliant. You don't see it too often. I thought that was very good.
But Chris, you can only do that when you're winning and playing well, because if you're not in the game and you're trying to do that, it doesn't work. And it controls your own team more than opposition.
Yeah, but Stevie, that's sign of a good player. A good player will always find a way into the game to keep himself in the game. You look at the comparison to Brian Murphy. Like, I mean, you know, he was always in the game. He's always getting himself on the ball. He's always creating opportunities for himself. Chris Blake in the first half was exceptional in the first half. Second half,
then he was out the field more the second half, like whether that was intentional or whether you're out chest the ball.
But lads, you could have thrown a blanket over. How much ball actually was fed into the lads inside in the second half?
Yeah.
You could one-handed, do you, with the amount of times it was actually kicked into them.
Yeah, as we said, like probably the move of the game, it didn't come off as Gannon's pass that to go 3 or 4, the hand pass over, over the shoulder.
Yeah.
And like, okay, Jordan didn't finish it, but that was, one of the key moments in the game. Just didn't come off. But like we're talking about kick passing in the women's game the other day, there's 2 goals. We'll see them there later. Like 2 carbon copies of one another. Ball start off and kick over one end of the field, 3 or 4 kick passes, go out the other end of the field. Great to look at, like, and it's just that I thought that as you said, Chris, the middle third of the field was just so congested. But if that ball was got into the full forward line, like Brian Smith, there was different types of ball going in. Brian Smith's, once they popped into his chest, he could have 3 lads hanging over him. He's strong as an ox. Yeah. Got no score, but took the world of looking at yesterday, maybe giving a bit of space. Like Jack Elliott kicked one, he kicked the left and the right foot one last week. Kicked the left foot one early on in the first half. Then he kicked one from the outside to the right. So he's a lot of skill in that locker of his.
That was the way Rathvilly pressed up on Eire Og, forced Eire Og to go along with the kicks, and that played into Rathvilly's hands. They went to war in that middle third, and the one that battled in the middle third. They were absolutely ravaged around that. They gave Eire Og no peace around that area.
Yeah, Conor Doyle got, Kelvin Chatton took him over 2 minutes, yellow card all day long. It took Conor Doyle a while to get back into the game. Then he made one run, then start second half. Gannon held him up, but Jesse made another run, then started from his own 45. He ended up in the D at the far end. They got a score over. They got drew free, I think. Them boys, they're willing to do what direct running, straight down the middle,
Of the 2 teams, though, Stevie, Rathvilly learned more than Eire Og did. They got more out. The previous outing that they had against Eire Og, they learned more out.
Yeah, we're probably looking at Eire Og probably had a handier run in. They won all their games well. Rathvilly were tested against Bagnestown definitely in the group game, and tested for a lot of it last week as well. And I suppose it's easier to get tested. It's easier to find out what problems you might have when you're getting the tight games. Whereas Eire Og were after quartering over the games, were generally 1-4 to a point or 2 points up. Game is over. As a contest, and they probably don't learn a whole lot then. And you would have seen their stats that say they were wasted enough in some of the games that looking back on it now, they can't. You can only be what's in front of you and being by what you can. So it's not Eire Og's fault that they didn't get games.
Well, they struggled a bit in previous games. Eire Og did on their kickouts. They got turned over a lot on their kickouts. In some of the other games, if you look at the stats for them, they lost a lot of their kickouts, and obviously that was something they needed to address. But I thought it was very good. What Rathvilly done is they didn't allow them to have the short one. They forced them to go long, and that's where they won it. I thought it was in that area,
Mm-hmm. Right, lads. We probably should move on. We're nearly at the 50-minute mark. Yeah, unless you want to keep talking about it, it's up to yourselves. But have we anything else to cover on, though? Seriously, we will be touching on a little bit again with the team of the year, of course. But
I just thought it was a highly entertaining game, and like if you want to go and see football being played, 2 teams were doing their damnedest to play football yesterday, and I just thought it was a cracking game, to be honest. Yep,
agree. Definitely the best final I've seen for quite some time, anyway. Okay, so we'll crack on to the Junior C final that was on before. That was St Mullins up against Clonmore in a very novel encounter. The first thing I want to do is give James Foley, the referee, huge credit. He did an absolutely brilliant job on it. You could tell his communication with the players was very clear. We mentioned on the commentary on Twitter, which was brought to you by Lynch's Bakery in Old Auckland, that we know him as a player in terms of he doesn't do bullshit. He doesn't take shit, right? He was very clear and matter of fact or whatever, and that's not a bad characteristic to have as a referee either. But I just thought he was brilliant, and I think in the next 3 or 4 years he's going to referee a senior final. I think he did a very, very good job in his first big day, like on county final day. So well done to him, first of all. Second thing I have to say, the quality in that game, as Andrew Byrne actually said with us the other night on the podcast, he said if that was a Junior B final that you're looking at on Sunday, you wouldn't know the difference in the grades, and he's right. I'll actually show you why, because some of the scores were unbelievable. And do you know what? The first one I'll show is actually a Clonmore one, because I'm going to have to go back to the program now again, but like Owen Coleman, I think in 4 games had racked up, was it 9? I said it on the commentary. It's in the program somewhere anyway. His tally coming into the game. Here we go. So, yeah, 12-26 in 4 championship games coming into it. He got 5-6 in the semi-final, and he had another 5 points to that yesterday. And one of those came from play. It was absolutely beautiful. And let's have a little look at it here. He's just a class act. This isn't in the opening minutes. Deadly, absolutely deadly. And they were trying to get him on the ball the whole time over the duration of the afternoon. But now I'm after being informed that what I'm about to show you in terms of frees from Mr. James Doyle, a noted Carlow Senior hurler, apparently yesterday was his first day on the frees. Now, have a look at this. Right, so this is early on in the game. You know, just inside the 45 out to the left. Wait till you see the technique effortlessly, and there's a bit more range on it as well. Right, so you kick 5 frees off the turf. A lot of them were in around that sort of range. Here's another one here. Again, we praised young Adam McCarron for doing this a few weeks ago in intermediate final. So I thought it was worth pointing out. Like, and in general from play, he was absolutely magnificent. He got 3 points from play. He has plenty of football in him. Look at that.
He's passing the ball out of the bar,
isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no follow through or not.
I thought the sweet spot of the ball or his foot. Like that's mad.
But the thing is now, right, and I'm going to sound mad for saying this, right? Even though it's a Junior C final, that lad has athleticism, acceleration, strength, and football. He can kick frees off the ground. He kicked 3 from play. Maybe could have had a goal or 2. Is it actually ridiculous on my behalf to be suggesting that this lad potentially could be a county footballer?
The boys in St Mullins were saying down with that type of thing now. They're hurling lads. Junior B's enough.
I see credentials there.
5-year plan as well. Go Pat Cody's on this 5-year plan. They're well underway now to have the first one now.
Do you know what? If I might rack through all these, right? Because there's a couple of other great points, but I'll show you Jason O'Neill's goal as well here. So this is another serious county hurler, Mr. Mouse Kavanagh, spotting a run of Jason O'Neill up the line. Now wait to see a little flick here. You have to watch closely. He spills it momentarily, tries to flick it up with the left, does flick it up with the right, and away he goes. He's thundering straight through. Look, maybe someone should have came at him, right? I'll accept that fact. Finish is very good, though. That's very good, in fairness. Like, irrespective of the grade. A couple of more scores to show you, right? So this is Mr. Mouse Kavanagh. I just want to click it here. She got away on me. Nope, that does not want to load up for some reason. So we might get Paddy Boland's goal or a point here instead. Jack Kavanagh into Paddy Boland. Around the corner. Now, the angle doesn't do this enough justice, actually. This went straight between the posts. It came in beautifully. It was like Simon Ray back in the day. It was absolutely brilliant. Like, that's super for a Junior C final. Like, now, we do have Mouse's score, right? So Mouse comes forward. This is a little bit late in the clip, to be honest with you. But there wasn't a whole lot else on. So he said, you know what? I'm going to have a little crack. Just flips around. Bit of composure. 2 men on him, over the bar. Not too shabby at all, lads, is it?
No.
So, Tom, just answer that then. James Doyle, county footballer? Would you have picked him if you were still over the county team?
Okay, Kevin. The way I always view these things, I mean, you know, if the chap is interested in playing football for Carlow, come in and try it out. Come in. You know, you don't close the door off to any chap. I mean, if he has an ambition to play football for Carlow, bring him in. I'm sure the like Simon and the boys, you know, will be doing their homework and all these lads, and he'd be one lad that you'll be bringing in to see what's in him, like, you know. Why not?
You may give the Monday Club a shout down there in St Mullins. It's first another Monday Club from football in a while.
Yeah, and you know what? Gary Bennett is actually heading off, I think, tomorrow or the day after. He's going off on a bit of a globetrot for a year. So we want to say the very best luck to Gary. He's been on the podcast with us previously, and he's some character. Now, like all Junior C finals, there was a comical moment or two, right? So we did our stream, obviously, on Twitter, our audio stream, and John Nolan was videoing it yesterday, just recording it for St Mullins and Clonmore. And we decided to do a bit of a mix mash. So we put the sound from the commentary to this particular clip here, and this is what happened. He's taking out the flag and everything.
Yeah. This is like
I'll fight Richard to go straight into the stand. And it's gone straight into the stand.
Anyway, that.
I'm sorry, Darren Whelan, but I'd do it for a fiver. And Joe Nolan, if you're out there, I'm still waiting on it. But no, it's funny, right? Because Darren took a while to line it up, and you could just tell he was going to try put the boat straight through it. And I was saying, he's going to put too much into this, and it's going to slice and straight into the stand away. So, sorry, Darren, I couldn't resist. But Darren did have a good game. I'll put it out there.
I'm back there, Kevin. Sorry, I know it's three years ago. You're eventually after getting revenge on me for not bringing it to Krispy Kreme above in Blanchardstown.
Oh, yeah.
All the bunches are and that's Friday.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of days ago, I go over to you, and suddenly Lynch's are supplying all the nice things.
And in fairness, Lynch's Bakery, they are giving us a box of 12 cupcakes to give away. Still, there's a competition running on Facebook and Instagram. Check it out. Lovely. The taste good too. But sure, look, you turned down the gig. Christy turned down the gig. Tommy, in fairness, we let him away with it. There was a small matter of a birthday to attend to there. And happy birthday, Mary, just to put out there as well. But as you said, you snooze, you lose. But they tasted lovely, I have to say. They were nice now. But you're in shape, you see, and I'm not, so it all cancels out. But anyway, look, that was the story with the Junior C final. St Mullins won 114 to 6 points in the end, and worthy winners. They'll be hard betting Junior B next year, I'll tell you that. And I hope the thing stays the way it is with one grade played before the other. It will be a big benefit to both codes going forward. And well done to Carlow G on bringing that in. And please keep it, lads. So after the match, now the audio is not hectic on this. We had it on commentary mode, the microphone, and then we didn't switch it up afterwards. So I'm probably going to blow the ears off you now, so just be careful. Oisin Boland, congratulations. You must be delighted. St Mullins Junior C football champions. And yeah, it was a great contest. You got some great scores, and celebrations won't be too shabby either, no doubt.
No, it'll be it was a great game in fairness. Like Clonmore were really physical. Like we knew exactly what we were coming up here. Like we played them up there during the year, and to give us a good beating. Like so, we knew exactly what we're coming into. And look, we're looking forward to getting at least one cup back to the club this year. Like so, no, we're delighted.
Look, we mentioned. Yeah, that was Oisin Boland, and we spoke to Jason O'Neill as well. Jason, congratulations. Super performance from yourself and from your team, and you must be delighted.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. It was a great game, great performance by everyone, and it's great to get the result in the end.
And a tally of 1-2 is not too shabby on county final day. Hurling or football?
All luck on the day, I suppose. I see the tunnel opening up, and I said I may stay going there, I'd be it. And thankfully, sure, paid off in the end.
Yeah, worked out indeed. In the last few weeks, obviously, you've upped the ante a little bit, and you must have enjoyed the whole thing, in fairness now.
Yeah, well, I suppose it started off as a bit of crack, really, and next thing, here we go, we're stuck in the middle of the game, so we're getting the wins, and I just couldn't believe it. We're starting to win. Next thing, here we are, semi-final one, on to the final, and now look, here we are. It's brilliant. It's great for the club to have a football team back, and it's very enjoyable too. So.
And in fairness, when you look at it there, I think the Structure Championship helped you massively and actually field the football team, and I'd say that's something that we'd all like to see happen over the next couple of years, because it gives you the opportunity to put in a good effort in both, like.
Yeah, definitely. It should be the way it always is, like, get the hurling done and then get the football. It gives everyone a chance then, and if football teams, it'd be great to see some of the football teams, the stronger in the football, getting hurling teams going, it'd be great to see, and build it up and build both football and hurling together,
Yeah. Well, I suppose we'll have a drink or two now this evening, will we?
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. I'll sit down and have a couple of pints and a bit of crack, sure, and we won't go too mad.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. Listen, it was a toss-up between yourself and Mr. Dial for man of the match, but you come out and give me the interview, so we're going to award you the man of the match instead. So congratulations, alright?
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Yeah, there we go, Jason O'Neill, a great game. Man of the match on the day. As I said, toss-up between him and Dial, and he came out and did the interview, so well done, Jason. Just I suppose to wrap it up in terms of the senior ranks, and we're going to talk about the minor football final and the senior ladies final as well. But on Friday night, I covered the relegation final. We were live on Twitter for that as well, and it was Ballinabran up against O'Hanrahan's. 4-7 to 13 points in favour of Ballinabran in the end, right? So this was a cracking game of football. The quality was really, really good, and we're lucky enough over the weekend. We saw very good games. Like the ladies' final was class, and the two games yesterday obviously were very enjoyable. But it was, like Ballinabran deserving winners. The goals win games. The old cliche. They were powerful. Jamie Lunny was very good. Samson was very good. James Keogh got the first point of the day. He was very busy. And David Cox got a couple of points from play again. We spoke with him before, the improvements that he's made. Ronan McAllister started instead of Darren Geraghty for Ballinabrana. And he ended up out around the middle because the Blues played third midfielder, and he actually played a part in the first goal. And Ronan is actually kind of a wing-back midfielder by trade, so he was never probably suited to cornerback if he was going to be there. And it actually ended up helping Ballinabrana, I think, more than the Blues. But like Ballinabrana were building up ahead of steam, and then the Blues would respond. And in fairness, they kept on responding. Within the second half, Danny Thompson picked up an injury. He finished with 3 points from play. He picked up an injury, scored a point while injured, went off, and then came back on a few minutes later and scored another couple of points. I never saw the vacancy. He was absolutely brilliant, in fairness. But overall, a really enjoyable game. It's a pity to see the Blues going down. But like from a Ballinabrana point of view, they were promoted this year. They were relegated this year. They were promoted again, and now they're actually staying senior. So yeah, that's the way she's after working out. Whatever. I'm happy. I don't want to see anyone go down either. I don't like to see anything, no more than anyone go down, especially the Blues with the history they have. But I am very happy in particular for Ballinabrana because I think by staying up this year, they're going to stay up for another 2 or 3 years. And I hope in 2 or 3 years' time I'm playing this clip back and that's actually the result. But I just think that they needed a couple of consistent years and they could actually build on it because they have some, yes, the players getting to the wrong end of the age category, but they have some very good young players as well. And I just think with the opportunity to play a senior over a couple of years, then they can prosper. So that was a crack with that. Christy, you were at the minor final on Saturday. That was 111 to 1-7 in favour of Eire Og against the St Patrick's. So what was the crack with that?
For me, in the first half, I thought Eire Og were nearly playing the occasion rather than the game. They looked very nervous. I think they ended up 14 wides to Eire Og, 5 to Tullow. It's some really good displays from both sides. I just think in the second half, Eire Og were a bit more clinical. Like they did have plenty of possession. Adam Johnson was kind of playing as a spare man for Tullow, and Eire Og didn't push anyone up on him. But I think once they got 1 or 2 scores on the scoreboard in the second half, it kind of momentum went and swung their way. Good entertaining game. Walked into the grounds. The only unfortunate thing was there was no program to be got.
Yeah, I don't know what the crack was with that, but that is unfortunate. I think someone said they are doing up programs now for the chaps to have, but yeah, that's a nice little thing to have in years to come.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known. I know a few of the Tullow lads, but I wouldn't have known them all. It's just nice to have reference to a number that's playing, because we could mention them here this evening. But no, it was an entertaining game.
Mm-hmm. And the reason, obviously, I couldn't get to that because we were doing the senior ladies final that was on, that was at 1:30. The minor football finals at 2, so you can't be in 2 places at one time. But Stevie, that was an absolute, cracker might be overstating a little bit, right? But we saw some cracking moments. The quality overall was very good. And I think the improvement that we see in ladies football through all grades, we've seen it on the TV with Dublin and Meath in the last couple of years. It's venturing down into club level as well, because even in terms of how teams are setting up, right? And I'll be able to show it in a couple of moments' time, but Bennekerry Tinryland got bodies behind the ball and were so disciplined, and they possibly recognised that O'Loughlin did not have long-range shooters, and they just couldn't get into the scoring zone. And if they did go into the scoring zone, they were gobbled up. That's where I felt the game was won and lost anyway. Did you kind of agree at the time?
Yeah, sure. Started back from Shannon Cutter in the goal. Like, you seen the catch she made after about, was it 15 or 20 minutes? A ball overhead. Now, this was as dirty a ball for a goalie to catch, and she was at the pin of her collar, caught it, and she had kickouts. She was landing kickouts on the halfway line, accurate kickouts, not just luring out for the sake of it. And up the middle, like Fiona Sullivan started midfield, wearing number 3, and she kicked 2 savage points in the second half. The point she got where she got the ball on the 65, drove through a gap that wasn't really there, kicked the point, and you nearly knew at this stage these kind of shots are going over. It's going to be Bennekerry Tinryland's there, like cleaning the shea. Goal either side of half time, the penalty after being, in fairness, the umpire flagged it with the referee. We thought in commentary in real time it was a penalty.
I'm going to pause now because that's a clip that we have, and I might as well just show it, and you can talk through it while you're looking at it. Right, so here we go. This is literally starting with Shannon Cotter on the goal. So 2 kick passes, takes it down to the far side. So she sees Cleany Hay and she picks it up, and her head is always up. She takes a hop and a solo and another hop. Look at that, off the left foot, both footed as well, and was continuously doing this during the game. Niamh Kelly tries to go inside. Kiva Collins kind of does cut in, and then look at Cleany Hay, keeps making the run and ends up being a penalty. Now, I did cut the clip a little bit short there, right? So it was about 6, 7, 8 seconds, I think, maybe, before the penalty was awarded, and the umpire had the hand out, and the referee came in and had a chat with him, and then the penalty was dispatched. But lads, like Christy and Tom, I don't know, you probably didn't see that. That's just so simple in terms of football. Like the pass, 2 kick passes, and you're on your way. It just goes to show, move the ball quick, and it will pay dividends.
Do you know, you hear the soccer thing, it's all about your looking around, like where's the next play, where's the space or whatever. If you just play that clip back there, you can see Niamh, when she gets the ball, she's looking over her shoulder to see, if I turn and take her on, do I have space to go into? And that's exactly what she does.
Yeah.
Just head is up from Cleana, ball in, and watch just to look over the shoulder. She's looking to see
what's happening inside.
And is it 1-on-1? Like she wanted to go and take on her marker. Like I thought it was very good.
Yeah, and just to show the O'Loughlin goal then, or one of the O'Loughlin goals, this was equally as impressive in fairness. So I'm after showing the same clip again now. Hold on, I have it here. O'Loughlin clip. There we go. Yes, and Nicole Handy this time. Sees a runner out here on this side. That's Caoimhe O'Neill. In fairness, she had a very good game as well. Very powerful there in around the middle of the field. Again, playing with the head up. Nice kick pass into Ellen Atkinson. And look, it does stop there for a second, but it's a pretty good opportunity to show you that maybe it's not really the best example I can give here, right? But there is still Bennecarrington Island bodies getting back. And by the time she gets into that zone, see, there's a few more close to her now. So this is what they kind of did all day, but they just got caught in the hop here. And again, around the back with Jenny Sawyer, who finished it very well. But you see all the bodies there now for Bennecarrington Island. That was literally the way they set up the whole game. And we're very disciplined in doing it. And it's not an easy thing to do. And it's not an easy thing to coach. But like Niall Barrett, Keane Lawler, Niall Lowry, and I'm forgetting who else was there alongside them on the sideline. But they were very, very well coached. Very disciplined. I'll show Cleany Hayes' other goal now as well. Again, this is like Elaine Ware, a brilliant game too, actually. She turned over a ball, thundered forward here. And again, there's runners left and right in fairness. And this is literally just after half time in a very important spell. Like, look at the power from the Hayes. She just goes up through the gears here. And it's a super finish well off the left. Like, there's no stopping it. Serious player, you know. But you can see the quality there, lads. Like, it is really good in fairness, Chris and Tom. Like, you wouldn't have seen that game.
Yeah, am I right in saying that at the start of the year they're really struggling to actually get a manager or someone in to coach them Bennecarrington Island?
I did hear something about that, I think, yeah.
So, like, to go from kind of that at the start of the year to where they've got to this year is brilliant, and kind of to take away from the football side of, like, they had their own tragedy out there as well. Like, so, like, to come together, like, in every clip you see girls, like, just working so hard. So, like, it's brilliant to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you kind of touched on that, Christy, because, like, me and Stevie said we're on commentary, and a full time, I genuinely lumped my throat. It was a very emotional moment because members of the Kinsella family were just literally over to our left-hand side, and you could just kind of feel the moment. Like, it was just one of those things. It was kind of hard to describe, but so happy for them after what they went through. Like, and I put a tweet there obviously on Sunday, and something along those lines, Kenty, on commentary as well, where it was along the lines of, you know, there's more to life than football, but football plays a big part in life in certain moments. And I think that was one of those moments for me. It was certainly probably one of the most special moments I've had in broadcasting anyway, just to be there for that and to be calling that. And I was so happy for them.
Just before you came in, Kevin, I was just in before you, and David Kinsella and his man, I think, is the father. Like, they were there talking to John Noel, and I was, you know, I knew where they were sitting then, like, you know, before we even got going, and, you know, it was, you know, there's the match in front of you, like, there's myriad of stories around every game goes on, and it's just with the year with Pamela Reid dying as well over there, tragedies, but the clubs get around one another and one feeds off the other, and to see the two lads there, and I didn't know them after, I didn't mind where they went or how much, whether they went out the field or whether they didn't, but to have that happen, the last 5 or 6 finals have been all O'Loughlin, been a Kerryton Rail. There's been nothing in the matches, nothing, and they might have one team wins by 6 or 7 points. There was probably 5 or 6 the other day, but there's never a kick for ball in it, other than and the scoreboard might look a little bit different. Lauren Dwyer wasn't playing the other day. We were wondering what she was playing with the soccer, and we were guessing she mightn't be. And Emma Brennan wasn't playing, hasn't played all year, and just on the day, you'd be saying maybe Amanda Kingsley was looking down and she gave the girls that bit of belief or whatever, and it's great. And, there's been tragedies in every club over years, and we'd always remember people. And I said yesterday in commentary, you have guard of honours at funerals. If Father would have asked, it wasn't at a funeral, it was a guard of honour. Once there was, then that was grand, because someone, their club, no matter what club it was in the county, or that the respect was paid to that person. Just when someone dies so tragically and young, as I said, you were 100% Kevin the other day. It was just like we were disappointed. We were neutral in the commentary. We were disappointed off from O'Loughlin point of view not to win, but you wouldn't be good. Ben Kerryton Rail with the year they've had, and best luck to them next Saturday above in St Sylvester's again. They'll have a tough day out there, but look, they're in bonus territory now.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yep, and we're gonna have a very good chance as well. So look, lads, we obviously just on next weekend there is Leinster Championship game. So I know Nair Breed are playing against Graham. It's up in Ockram, Stevie, at 1 o'clock. I think is it next Saturday. You have Michael up against Parker and Eska in Netwatch Cullen Park as well. That's Saturday at 2, I think. I'm just going to confirm that now while I have it.
Saturday at 1, I think. Sorry, Michael's at 1, yeah.
Saturday at 1, and Grange are out as well at 1 o'clock.
Lost the junior final, I think, did they?
They did, yeah, and they're so that's 1 o'clock up in Strawberry, that one. Yeah. Palatine are playing as well against Maynooth. That's at 1 o'clock up in Clane. And then next Sunday you have Rathvilly up against the Loud champions at Nave Martin at 1 o'clock in Dunleer's GA grounds. That's where that one is. So yeah, the weekends aren't really quietening to any great extent. So it brings us on to the biggest headache we've had. And I said it was since this morning. Really, it was since full time yesterday, and that was our team of the year. We've a player of the year to announce as well. But we were literally still confirming this just for our viewers out there, as we said earlier, a couple of minutes before we came on air, and it was not easy. And Stevie, you obviously helped pick the hurling team of the year. That seemed a lot easier to pick than this one. And I think
I can't remember now. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but there's 3 more clubs that you're thinking about, and obviously that brings maybe a bit more matches or whatever as well, and 3 more senior clubs actually, because we did factor in junior and intermediate as well, strongly actually, as it turned out. But we'll rattle on. So I'll go through the lines and then we'll get your thoughts on it. So in goal is Robbie Malloy. So yeah, that was although there was other lads that noble mentions as always. Robbie was magnificent, in fairness, wasn't he? So, any comments on that? We'll go to a goalkeeper first, Stevie.
Well, look, yesterday the county final, the first goal in our down angle as much as he could on Chris Blake, and Chris just got into both of the post. The saves, I said, Morton's shot was a good height for a keeper. Slippy kept out, and the one after, the Jordan Morrissey one was more important in one way, because that could have ended up in a penalty. Should have been a free out, could have been a penalty, could have been the goal. Then the save at the boat of the post. None of them went in. You remember he laid the goal in Kildare against Kildare above in Newbridge or in Tullamore. And he parked, put the bed, made a save, and penalty save a couple of minutes later. Job was Oxo. Stephen Scallon was exceptional for all Auckland. Made 2 savage saves against Ballarat the first day, kicked 3 or 4 45s, made a couple of great saves against the Blues the night before he went off injured. Snack box again among Leinster Angel was like a one-man wall in the goal. I know there are one-off games you might be talking about, but
just to show that we did factor in those as well, because that's why it is a difficult task.
Yeah, and obviously, look, Robbie's fresh in the mind, like, and I suppose you could say it's like fancy football might be double points for yesterday, but like the saves he brought off yesterday, they were instrumental in the cup being below in Rathvilly yesterday evening, not in Parky Green.
Choney was very good as well, I thought, and goal for Bailestown. Thought he did pretty good there.
Yeah, I suppose when it is fresh in your mind, it's like being at your best when your best is needed. And Robbie was needed yesterday, and he did brilliant.
He's a good lad. He's a good chap, and he's probably back talking to me now. You know, but no, he did great. He did a great year. He did a great year, and yesterday he was probably close to man of the match as well. After all the saves he made, like, you know, he kept Rathvilly in it, like, you know, and look, he's very good at marshalling his backs as well. He's a great talker, great at keeping lads on their toes and constantly seeing where the danger is coming from, like, you know. So well deserving of it anyway, and congrats to him.
All right, so full back line then. Yeah, again, headaches everywhere. But Dara Curran of Rathvilly, Niall Roach O'Loughlin, and Benny Kavanagh of Eire Og. So, yeah, like, I suppose start with Dara Curran first, lads. He's what, 17 or 18?
He's only 17, I think, lads. Well, like, for me, he's not the best known of all the backs, or any of the backs that we're going to mention, but like, he does his job and he does it very well. He locks attackers up and he doesn't let them out. And like, they don't grow on trees, them type of lads. And I think what he does it exceptionally well. So that's I suppose that's where he got a nod, I suppose. He brings actually something really, really good to a team while kind of not being the standout kind of entertainer, say, on the field. He does his job and he does it really well.
All right, Stevie, Niall Roach is at 3.
Yeah, he's been best player O'Loughlin had this year. Unfortunately, he's been, you know, if you go afford him up the field a bit further, he's driving out the ball there, like it wasn't at the relegation match, but the lad said like he was the O'Loughlin go-to player when things needed to be driving the scruff of the neck. He's had a lot of injuries over the last couple of years. He's played well in the hurling this year there as well. He's one that will not be going off. Like he's a lad you need in your corner. The full back position, like, is very vital. It's more, you're not just minding the goal, that area now. You have to be kind of as a link man to an attack, that you're able to, and he has plenty of football in him as well. You know, Shane Redmond would have played more football out the field this year, and that was very good for Tinryland. You know, you could look at him, he could have been an option there, but just he was playing out the field a bit more. And you know, Niall, to me, he just, his heart's on his sleeve, and you know, he had a couple of years with the county there, just didn't get the nod, you know, and a lot of work went in. Just, you know, it's a pity, you know, he didn't get a bit more game time in there, but look, that's the way it goes.
All right, Benny Kavanagh's at 4. Tommy?
Yeah, well, what can you say about this man? He's an exceptional. You could play Benny in any position in that backline, and he'd still do the job, like, you know. Always had great time from as a footballer and as a person outside of football. He's an absolute gentleman, lovely lad. But he's a great man. He's a great reader of the game, phenomenal reader of the game. You know, he breaks up attacks. You know, and he's able to see his ability to bring the ball out and launch attacks. It's something else, you know. But he's just brilliant at reading the game and snuffing out an attack as well, like, you know. You could play Benny in any of the back positions, but cornerback is well suited to cornerback.
All right, rock on to the half back line, or do you want to go through the near misses, or we just do them all at the end? I think maybe do them all at the end is probably the best thing to do, or we'll never get through this, Jock. Well, half back line: Shane Clark of Bindlestown Gales, Conor Doyle Rathvilly, and Josh Moore Rathvilly. So, Steve, a couple first. Or Tommy, go on, pipe up. Go on. You're the first.
I'll go for Shane Clark. To me, has had a brilliant year for Bindlestown. His attitude is something else. His work rate is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. He's his tackling, his energy to get up the pitch, to link up attacks, and never say die attitude. You know, he had a great year, and he was part and parcel of that little success that Bankstown had this year. He was just brilliant. And what I like about him is, if you look back on the clip there, I think Brendan hit him there at one stage with a fair belt, like, and no rolling on the ground, no running looking for a card or any of this whole nonsense. Got up off the ground, dusted himself down, gone on with the game. He's a great attitude, and he's well deserving of 5 for me anyway.
Mm-hmm. So Conor Doyle of Rathvilly at number 6, Christy. Again, a man who, in my opinion, has done a very good job in a role that it's not his natural position. Like, I think he's a midfielder out and out, but he's been very good at centre back. And Mick Nevin actually got in touch with us. He thought he was his footballer of the year actually. But how did you assess his season?
Just he gets better and better, and we talked about it in last week's show. Like he has a job to do. Like, he doesn't go forward as much as he probably like himself. He pulls the handbrake up and he gets back and sits in at 6 to help out the team. No, I just think like he just covers some amount of ground and gets ball from A to B as quick as anybody in the county. And like, for me, that I said it already, that half back line for Rathvilly yesterday I thought was the launch pad for everything that was good in their performance yesterday. And I think with the more games he gets at 6, he's only going to get better.
All right. And then obviously completing the half back line, Josh Moore, Stevie.
Yeah, I look back to the match last night though. I thought he was quieter in the game than he actually was in the first quarter of an hour. But two incidents in the first half. I don't know if it was Ross Dunphy. I'm not sure now. He was playing Ross from the front. Ross, I'm not sure if it was Ross. I mean, about 5 yards from the front, and the two boys were doing the same runs, and it was like he had wing mirrors on him. He was able to see what was going on behind him, taking a big risk. A ball over the top could have been curtains for him. The ball was played in. He got a bit of help from someone else. I don't know who it was. It wasn't Parry Deering this time. It was someone else maybe. Got a touch in, and that was Josh Moore in the game. And then, as I said, the flick he made over the far side, that was just, mental with 10-15 minutes to go in the county final, and you're hanging, not say hanging on, you're going well, they're well on their way to getting it. But like, he was on the Sigerson Cup team with the Carlow IT, got to the final. That's a serious standard player. He's 22, 23 years of age. He's nailed down the place in the county team, and he's only going to go from strength to strength.
Yeah, it was very good. And obviously, just to make it aware, because I know you spoke a lot about the county final yesterday, but it is taking over the whole season. And there's 3 kind of near misses in particular, and if I'm leaving out anyone, let us know, lads. But in terms of the half back line, like Pádraig Deering, there was big shouts for Pádraig Deering to be in it. Jamie Lunny scored goals in a good few games for Ballybranner from that position. Very, very powerful. Didn't do a whole lot wrong. And then moving into the full back line, like Barry John Malloy was someone that was mentioned there. And I think another person who was quite close, and probably the reason he's missing out is just the first half yesterday, was Paul Curran of Rathvilly at full back. Was very good. But just the 1-3, I think, yesterday in the county final might be the reason why he's not here as well. Because other than that, he had a very good year. Is there anyone else there before I move on to midfield?
Danny Doyle was very good.
Danny Doyle, actually. Sorry, yeah.
Popped up with a vital goal against Ballynarana.
Yeah.
Anyone else? You mentioned Barry John Malay, I think, did you? You mentioned Barry John.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Matt Fury.
Okay.
Matt Fury wasn't too bad either, during the year.
Mm-hmm. Christy?
Yeah.
Probably for me, Paddy Mack of Bagnallstown, Paddy McDonald, and Conor Fenlon, I thought, were very steady in all the performances I've seen this year. Right,
okay. So we'll move to midfield then, lads. And we went with Brendan Murphy and Diarmuid Byrne in this one. Brendan, obviously, it's very hard to... What do you say about Brendan that hasn't been said already, I suppose? I'll just sum up that one. Incredible player. I think, Tommy, what you mentioned several times, he did a lot more kick passing, I think, this season than in maybe previous seasons. And he mixed it up a good bit. We've seen him carrying ball too. But a lot of those kick passes bore a lot of fruit for Rathvilly over the duration of the season. Now, I'll move on to Diarmuid Byrne. And Stevie, we'll bring you in on this one, right? So, for me, from my point of view anyway, I think over the duration of every game, he was so good for Rangers. And it's not just down to kick and freeze. That was a big thing that helped Rangers along the way. If you look through his contributions from play, he has got scores. He won dirty ball and was very good for Rangers. Anything else to add to it?
Yeah, and even last week, I think popped in my head now, lads might have said he could be got at in games, like, and you know, he takes the Carlow hard, and he was fouled about 5 times in a row last week against Eire Og, and he just got up and got on with it, and he kicked the 40 free from about the 35-40 metres out. Like, he you know, talking about lads with county teams, and you know, probably not going to happen. A lot of these lads are hurling first and hurling second and football third, but you know, he wouldn't look out of place. You know, he's got to see him go at half time there last week for the Eire Og matches there, chatting away to the boys in the middle of the field, not caring in the world. Strolls up to a free, goes over the bar, great, and doesn't, on out to the next ball. Done the mountain of work this year, I thought. Well, Kevin McDonald as well was a great file for him as well, and Kevin McDonald, just he turned himself inside out as a footballer in a couple of games, but I thought Timberborn had to be on the team anyway.
Mm-hmm. No, there was other strong shouts, but the player that was in contention in particular is actually still in the team of the year because he played a little bit in the half-hour line. But I think other than that, I don't know if there's any other lads that we were jumping and roaring about. So I'll probably crack on to the half-hour line then. Now, we went with Jordan Morrissey, and that's the player we were talking about that was possibly going to be in the middle. Jordan Morrissey, Ross Dunphy, and Sean Gannon. And again, the first thing, there's 2 things going to be jumping down people's throat. They're going to be saying, 2 Eire Og lads on the Oak, right? That's not the case because Eire Og lads actually didn't want a couple of Eire Og lads in the half-hour line, being straight about. And number 2, they'll say, well, yesterday, again, I'm going to repeat the point. It's on the whole championship. And if you look at the course of that, Ross Dunphy is sublime in the early stages of the championship. Still set up the goal yesterday for Chris Blake, if you look at it, right? Even though he was probably a little bit quieter in general. Jordan, magnificent. Again, even though he's very young, he's kind of in the Brendan Murphy mold. It's kind of hard to find superlatives to describe the chap. He has it all. Simple as that. And equally with Gannon. Like, I was only saying it to Joe Nolan yesterday. You know, Joe has said that he thinks he's the best footballer that Carlow have ever saw. And I'm kind of in agreement with him because I've never seen him play one bad game. Ever. Not one bad game. And it's funny because some lads were saying he was a little bit quieter yesterday, but he was still effective. Even though maybe he was a bit quieter, but he actually carried a hell of a lot of ball. So that's our half-forward line. Chris, I'll bring you in on it first. Do you want to talk about any of the 3 lads in particular there? Or maybe anyone that you felt should have been there?
No, I think their actions speak loudly enough for themselves. Yeah, it might have been a bit quieter yesterday, but sure. Look, as you said, I've never seen the 3 lads play really bad games. Anytime they've been called upon for their county or their club, they've showed up and they've gave some outstanding performances. Like with Jordan and Ross, the best is yet to come. With Sean, he owes nobody nothing. So, like, yeah, I think they're deserving of it.
Anything to add, lads? Happy enough to move on to the full forward line, yeah?
Yeah, happy enough.
Okay, we'll move on then to the full forward line. So, in there, we have Jamie Clark, Brian Murphy, and Jake Elliott. So there, that's our team of the year. Like the boys were superb. Jake Elliott was someone that we spoke about quite a bit this season. Very, very good. A couple of points again yesterday. Live wire forward. We always knew he had great potential. I remember Brian O'Donoghue actually describing him to me as a wizard when Brian was with the minors. What was it, 2015 or 2016? And Jake was playing. And I thought he really, really showed his potential this year. And this segues us into a nice little point, right? Because we might as well go with our footballer there now because it was actually between the other 2. So 2 nominees all we have. We didn't have 3. And if anyone wants to disagree, feel free to do so. We love the feedback. Message in and let us know your team of the year on Facebook. Just comment underneath on YouTube and Twitter and all that. But we went with 2 nominees for footballer of the year because we felt that in terms of individual performances over a prolonged period during the season, that maybe an individual out there didn't quite match what the 2 lads did. So the nominees for player of the year were Jamie Clark of Bindlestown Gales and Brian Murphy of Rathvilly. And, you know, I think, lads, you know, last week I probably said, I think I did say in the podcast that I thought that Brian Murphy possibly was footballer of the year. And then, Tom, you said Jamie Clark, and I was like, I nearly forgot for a moment about how good he actually was. And you'd nearly say, would it be fair to say, Tom, that certainly in your eyes anyway, and a lot of people's eyes, would it have been neck and neck between those two heading into yesterday?
Oh, would have been, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely, yeah. I thought Jamie had a brilliant year with Bagginstone. And it's not just me saying this. A lot of people were talking about Jamie during the year about his performances.
A lot of us were,
Brian has just been consistent. What I liked about him was, he was notching up big scores in all the games for him, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter what way you put the ball into him. He still won his ball. He'd win dirty ball. He'd win good ball. He's free taken. His ability to lose his marker. He's a great example to any young man playing corner forward or want to play in full forward, corner forward. You look at his runs. He never allowed himself to go outside the range where he was shooting under pressure. He was always within the score zone area to tap it over the bar. And like he was pointing out there to Stevie in his interview there about some of the frees. They're inside the 21. There was very little effort to put into them. But you have to create them frees. You have to create them opportunities, and he done that. And hats off to him. He's had a brilliant year all around for Rathvilly, and I wish him the very best of luck.
Yeah, he created a hell of a lot of opportunities, as well as taking them, and won a lot of those frees. So I think just for the moment, we'll announce it anyway. So we all agreed on this unanimously that Brian Murphy is the left wing back footballer of the year for 2021, and deservedly so. And we're actually going to hear from him now because I spoke to him yesterday after the match as well. Brian Murphy, Rathvilly captain, congratulations, county champions, sweet.
Yeah, it's exceptional, really, especially it's kind of hard to find the words too. When you put so much into it, and we've left some behind us, but just to win today, it's just unbelievable, really. It's unbelievable.
You've been, I don't know, is it a second or third coming on your behalf? But you've had serious injuries down through the years, a couple of cruciates, and you're probably playing the football in your life this year.
Yeah, well, I suppose I'm putting up good numbers, but some of I'm kicking frees over the bar from 21 yards out. There's not a whole lot of kicking in them. Some of the scores, Brian or Colin and them will bring it so far, and I can just wheel around them and kick it over. But I suppose every player goes through it where you feel good and everything you touch, you just feels right. And it just kept going and going. And my performance don't mean a whole lot. If I didn't score and I was getting taken off in games, I wouldn't particularly care once the result was today. That's all that matters. Just see what it means to everyone. It's very, very special. It's just very special.
And it is sweet, and nobody gives you a chance, ourselves included, and we'll be quite honest about it. But obviously you're quietly confident during the week. I felt, and I've said it to the other lads as well, the improvements you've made in a space of a week. Even though you won the game last week and won it comfortably, there were still big improvements. And you made those, I felt. You shored things up and were dominant, really. I know for the most part it was touch and go and it was tight or whatever, but you pushed on and you were resilient and you didn't actually let them back in after that.
Yeah, I think everyone wrote us off, and I'm sure everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I heard some of the comments, and it only fueled you up, I granted they were favourites, but I couldn't see how everybody had them so overwhelming favourites. We bet them in a league final here this year, we've won the league and championship this year, in the late 20 final that was only played here a few months ago. We knew so many of us didn't perform, and still we didn't perform. With 5 minutes left, there was 3 points in it, and we knew there was going to be very little in it, and it was only more of an advantage for us that maybe they were believing the hype but we knew we were going to be in with a squeak, without doubt.
Well, listen, congratulations, Brian. I want to see the light of you, and keep relating the best luck in Leinster, all right? Yep, top guy, delighted for him. What can you say? Just incredible. And he has had, I think, at least 2 cruciate injuries, and that's just among some of the injuries that he has down through the career or whatever. He was on Rathvilly side in 2004, I think, when he was only 17. I think they might have won a minor that same year. Brendan was only 15 playing midfield on that. Just Stevie, Neve is busy there in the background. I don't know what's nicer, Neve or Tommy Wogan's dog.
It's coming the knives, it's sticking in the back.
I don't know what's going on. It's probably telling you to try to tell you to
heard an Eire comment.
maybe that's what it is. Yeah. But in all seriousness, Brian Murphy's been absolutely brilliant and a well-deserved footballer of the year. Lads, have we anything else to add? Maybe there's a couple lads in the forwards there we should have mentioned. Chris Blake was definitely a near shout as well. Steve, you mentioned Brian Smith, again, a lad who's won a serious amount of ball. Might not have been racking up scores, but very good at making the ball stick.
And like yesterday, he was, he was brilliant yesterday. And like, I tell you, the only shot he had maybe was a free in the second half. Didn't go wide with much. He had plenty of meat on it. Just before you go there, or before we talk about picking teams, a good one years ago, Loughlin were playing, and Martin Meany, he passed away there about a year ago or that, but Martin was selector on the team anyway. They were after picking the team and they were going into the dressing room anyway, and Big Joe Carpenter, Joe was after not making the cut. And Martin goes in anyway before the team was announced, says to Joe, just Joe, if I'd been well, Joe, you would be on the team. And next minute all hell broke loose. So picking a team is not too easy. Never was and never will be.
No, it's not. Adam McCarron, John Murphy were other names mentioned. Just possibly a few more we're leaving out.
Paul Broderick, I know, he probably mightn't have played every game as well. It was very good against Bagnallstown, against Bagnallstown. There's always, you can only pick 15, and like you probably need a team of the year now. You might be picking 5 subs as well because it's gone that way. It's the lads are finishing. Look at Eric Malloy yesterday. The starting 15 are only making way for the ending 15.
Yeah, well, listen, lads. Anything else to add in general in terms of the whole championship, or before we finish up?
Just best luck to Rathvilly next weekend.
And all our teams in Leinster.
Yeah,
absolutely. Look, lads, genuinely, I just want to say thanks to you, because for every Monday, obviously, for the last, I don't know how many weeks you've been coming on here. A lot of people have come up to me and complimented all you as guests and that they've enjoyed the programme. So I'm very grateful for you giving up your time. I do genuinely appreciate it. And I think we've had some good fun over the duration of the championship. It's fair to say.
I remember you telling me it was only going to be an hour.
I couldn't stop Bambrick talking.
Service.
Yeah, sure. Look, Bambrick's hitting the big time. He's everywhere now, so he can't stop him talking. That's the problem.
We have a decent Wi-Fi now at the minute.
Jesus, don't jinx it. But no, seriously, lads, thanks a million. Really appreciate it, and we will chat soon, no doubt. We're going to take a well-due break for a week or two. Anyway, we'll reassess things. We do have a My Time in the Gansey series to finish as well. There was supposed to be 8 parts of that. We got through 3 of them. Certain few things got in the way, so we'll trickle through the rest of those. The guests are lined up. It's just to get the content done, and if we do them live, it'll be some crack because they're serious stories, and let me tell you. Our sponsors, Autoimage, thanks to Simon Ray, who's obviously helping us out with that with Autoimage for all your motor needs. Check them out on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And I just think while we're at the outset here, or at the end of the show, just to thank all our sponsors that have supported us over the duration of the series as well. And as Lad said, best luck to all the teams next weekend. And I'm sorry if I forgot anyone or anything. We did do our best, and we have really enjoyed the last number of weeks. Just to mention as well, Jim Bolger and Ger Dial on a personal level have been very good to me at county board level, and not just them two. A lot of lads have been very good, very welcoming when you go in and all. And I would want to say thanks to them and for letting us to go in and cover some of the games. That's been definitely something that people have spoke about as well in terms of the commentaries in the last few weeks. So again, many thanks to those people involved. You know who we are. And that's where we leave it, lads. Thanks a million. And for you watching and listening, we really appreciate your time also. So we'll chat to you again soon. Take care.